Hi guys, and welcome to this episode of the Comedy Defect Podcast. My name's Winter Phonander, I'm a comedian, and this is my show. This is episode 61. This is May's edition, May 2018's edition, with a very funny comedian, Adele Cliff. She's doing her show Sheep, Not Sheeps, at 4:10 at Just the Tonic Caves in the Wee Room. She's doing all of the competitions, so if you see her on a bill, go and watch that show. You will not be disappointed. You can follow this podcast on Twitter. You can follow me at Winter Phonander. You can follow this podcast at The Comedy Defect. If you want to come see my live stand-up gig dates, they're on my website, which Danny Clyde's is nearly finished. Woo! Come on, Danny! And they'll be on my website, which is winterphonander.com. I'm also going to be taking my show, which is By the Power of Grayskull, to Shaston Fringe, and that is on the 29th of June. And that is at 10 o'clock, I think it is. But if you want to see the dates, they'll be advertised on Facebook, on Twitter, and all those things. So come see me down in Shaftesbury Fringe on the 29th of June. 10ish, that's when it is. Well, you get the exact date on Facebook. Follow me, like my page, all that kind of stuff. You can also support this podcast. Go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast. You can donate as little or as much as you feel this podcast is worth. Those who do donate, thank you. Those who don't donate, that's okay. Just leave us a nice, honest review. You can do it on your phone now. You know, it's really easy. Just get on your phone, leave us, let's say 5-star review. Just let yourself go. Have fun with it. 5 stars, and just enjoy yourself, and then you can go about your day. That's all I'm going to say for this intro with this very funny comedian, Adele Cliff. Going to really enjoy it. Had a great time talking to her. For episode 61, it is Adele Cliff. Go and see her live wherever she is. Enjoy. Well, Adele Cliff, welcome to the Comedy Defect. How are you doing?
I'm all right, thank you, Winter. Thank you for having me.
No, it's a pleasure. Very thanks for coming around. So what have you been up to?
Comedy mostly, so that's convenient for the purposes of this podcast.
Indeed.
Yeah, a lot of comedy stuff.
Yeah.
I'm writing my first hour-long show for Edinburgh. Mostly just going through it and being like, no, this is funny enough, crossing it all out, starting again. That's what I've been doing the last few days.
And how's the mission going?
It's going fairly well, actually. I say I've been crossing a lot of stuff out, but quite a bit of it still works. So, yeah, I'm quite pleased with the overall structure of it and the overall idea. I just need to slot in a few extra jokes, I think.
What's the name of it this year?
It's called Sheep.
Of course, yeah, Sheep, yeah.
Not, as Chris Norton Walker is trying to tell everyone, sheeps, because I cannot stand to look at an incorrectly written word for a whole month. It's called Sheep.
Yeah, that's called Sheep. Yeah, Sheep it is, right. Last year you had your show called Cliff Notes.
I did, yes.
And you got reviewed?
No, I didn't invite any reviewers. I don't know if any turned up, but I didn't invite any reviewers. I just got an audience in and I invited some industry people because I was trying to get an agent. It was only a tiny room. It could only hold 25 if it was completely packed and people on top of each other. So I was like, well, if I invite a reviewer, that's one person who's going to make them and 5 people around feel awkward by writing. So that's nearly 20%, if not more, of my crowd will be a bit awkward. So I just didn't invite them.
So how many people in the room, you say?
About 25.
Oh,
I got
right.
30 in a couple of times, but it was horrifically crowded.
Right.
And those times, some people were sitting on the floor, and some people were sitting the back of where the stage would have been. So I was standing in a corner. So it wasn't ideal. It was a very small room.
Yeah. So you're surrounded on every side, sort of thing. Yeah, it's not good. Not a good feeling when you're performing, is it? You feel like strafing the audience with punchlines and stuff. And a bit over here, a bit over there.
Just huddled up in a corner, being like, please listen to me. It was nice though. Like my final show, the final day at the Fringe, I was like, well, I can't really turn anyone away because they can't come back at any point. So we fit like 31 people in that day. And then by that point I was like, okay, I'm going to have to stop letting people in or I won't be able to get in to do the show.
Yeah.
But that was very crowded. But it was nice.
What room was that again?
It's in Cabaret Voltaire. It's called the Cinema Room, which is downstairs. Basically, it's just like one of those benchy offset things that you get in nightclubs.
Oh yeah.
But they put duvets over the doors, so it's a room now.
Nice.
It worked well actually. It had a screen that I used, and it was good. It was horrifically hot.
Right, yeah.
So hot.
Especially
that's the story of
over the door, right?
Yeah, the duvet made such a big difference. It was like a 3-4 degree difference in heat when you went into the room, which was weird because it was already quite hot in Cabaret Voltaire generally.
You did the pun competition this year, right? Isn't it?
I did the UK Pun
And
Championships.
you did pretty well,
Me
right?
and 7 other nerds.
Nice, yeah.
Pretty much. It's all right. Yeah, I got into the second bit. This, whatever they would have called it, semi-final, I guess, bit of it. But,
put that in like a little kind of wreath now. You can have that in a...
Well, I don't know, because I think...
Coaster.
I think because they only invite 8 people to do it, and I think by being in that 8, you count as a finalist in the Pound Championships. But then on the night, they call the rounds, like they have a first round, and then they have, so it's knockout at every stage. They have a first round with 8 people, and then they have 4 people, and they have 2. So I got to the 4 people round. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
I was livid. I'm such a bad loser. I'm also a bad winner. I'm just too competitive in all situations. Yeah. So
I didn't win strongly enough. God damn it! Yeah, no. They didn't judge us harshly enough. Yeah,
yeah. It was so. I was so annoyed though, because I got to the second round and I wasn't against the person I thought I'd be against. We thought it would be person who won the first match against the person who won the second match, and person who won the third against the fourth. And then for some reason they switched it around, and they switched me to the one person who I was like, but we're the most similar, which was annoying. And then we got topics that were not so good for me. And then I was sitting watching everyone else, and all the topics that came up after I'd been eliminated were all ones I really liked. So I was just like, I've got a great joke about that, because I'm a brat. And I'm just sitting there, I'd be like, my joke about that was better.
Yeah, no, I could have crushed it. I could have totally crushed it with that.
Totally won, and then just let me win that round.
Yeah, you're so lame. And who won it in the end?
It was Rob Thomas, who is the person who knocked me out. So at least I was beaten by the eventual winner.
All right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
You still you take your pride home. You're fine.
No, I got a nice review in the Leicester Mercury, so that's nice.
What'd they say?
I think it was something along the lines of everyone was good, but we particularly enjoyed Adele.
So that's a win.
Yeah.
That's something for the poster, for sure. Yeah.
If I can figure out a way to phrase it so it sounds like I don't only do puns, then it can go on the poster. Yeah.
And you've been signed now as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Who are you with?
I'm with Nick Ransford-Hadley, who is same agent Milton Jones is with, and the guys who do Go 8-Bit.
Great.
And people like that. Yeah.
It's exciting times then.
It is, yes. Yeah. It's nice. Yeah. I got to chat to Milton Jones at the Christmas drinks and pretend we were contemporaries.
Wow. Amazing.
Oh, I like one-line jokes too. I felt very excited.
Yeah, that's it. You didn't go automatically into the pun championships mode. Oh, ding, ding, here we go. Come on, Milton, let's do this.
No, it hadn't happened yet at that stage. So I hadn't written all my puns yet at that point. I just knew I was doing it.
Yeah.
So I was just standing there being like... Also, one of my friends who I used to live with, who's a comedian, happened to be in the same bar and came over, and I was like, I must look really cool chatting to Milton Jones. Yeah. So.
Do you know each other? This is Milton.
This is my pal. Yeah, it was cool.
So when did you start comedy?
I suppose I started comedy ages ago, because I did like sketches and stuff at uni. And then I was in a double act with my friend, and we did a lot of YouTube videos.
Cool.
And I did a hour-long sketch show with uni people at the Fringe in 2011. But I didn't really start doing stand-up regularly till 2014.
And what was the name of your sketch show? Or your sketch group?
Well, me and my friend as a double act were called Biscuit and Brawn. The show, Biscuit and Brawn, I think we called it Biscuit and Brawn Make a Meal of It. Something like that. It was just us and a few other people doing some sketches.
What was it? Did you take it to the Fringe?
Yeah, we did. We were in... what's the venue called? We were in that big... I think it's a St Augustine's church. It's a big one that's right near the Mile. It's on the Georgia Falls Bridge.
Oh, yeah, I know you are.
Yeah. And we were in the basement bit of that, near the entrance to the prison. Not the prison, the court. But a lot of prison vans drove past our venue, which was nice. It was all right, actually. Surprisingly all right, given that we had to rewrite the whole show in 3 days, because we were meant to have a cast of about 8 of us, and then a whole bunch of people, like 4 of them dropped out, like a week before the Fringe, because they were absolute bellends.
I've had that as well. Yeah, I've had that same. It's a pain in the arse, isn't it? Posters done. They're all on the posters.
Well, they weren't on the poster. Luckily, anyway, they weren't on the poster for some reason. But it was the description in the guide and stuff like that had said there's like 6 people or 6 students, and then so we had like a cast of about 8, and it ended up being a cast of about 3 or 4 of us. But it was all right.
Did you curse them every show? We're supposed to have 8 guys, but there's only
we 4 of us. We wrote a sketch about it. I think the show was probably better for not having them there, because the ones of us who remained were the ones who were most keen on comedy, and the ones who were left, we all knew each other a lot better. So the other people, we'd kind of, it's a university thing, we'd kind of auditioned random people. So there weren't people we really knew. So actually, me and my friend Kate, who were the main double acting people, and our friend Michael knew each other really well, so we were good at like riffing off each other and improving, and you know, if one of us was got a line wrong, we knew where to go with it, whereas with the others, I don't know if we would have done that.
Well, what university did you go to?
University of Warwick, famous for our comedy. No, we're not.
Yeah. What is that university famous for?
Well, if you believe people at Warwick, they're trying to coin the phrase Woxbridge, which is not ever going to happen. It's basically, it's very good. It's good at maths and engineering and science.
And your science, isn't it?
I did biology, but I've never used it since I left, so I can't claim to be science.
So while you were doing your biology, did you think, right, you know, this isn't really going to be the thing I want to do? Did you want, okay, I'm going to go straight to comedy, or is that I'm going to do the side thing that might become the main thing?
I don't know. I did. So I started my degree in biology already knowing I didn't want to be a scientist.
Right.
Because I'd done a work experience placement the summer before, where I just spent 6 weeks of my summer working in a lab for very little money. Like I worked it out, I was getting paid about £1.50 an hour.
Oh my god!
And some really boring stuff. They had a whole bunch of placements, and you kind of had to say what area you were interested in. And I said, I'm interested in genetics, on most things. Basically, I'm just anything but plants. And they put me in a lab working on the genetics of plants, and I was like, well, that's kind of not what I've talked about.
So it took 2 words. They weren't even listening to the sentence, your answer. Plants, okay, genetics. Oh,
just a lot of pipetting wheat DNA samples from one little tray to another, and then running them through gels to look at it. It was just... It's interesting in principle. I was interested to begin with, but it was the same thing again and again, because you're basically just like their cheap lab assistant.
Yeah,
that convinced me that maybe I didn't want to be a scientist.
Basically, it's like work experience, isn't it? It's like you're just a slave, right? Really, that's it.
You are, and my family went on holiday without me because I was busy working this stupid lab.
Where'd they go?
They went to Holland.
Oh, okay. Well, it's not too far. You can always go there. It's not like...
I mean, I've been since, but I'm not going to forgive them for going without me because they've also been on other holidays without me since then. So I can't, I can't get that holiday back.
So you did the biology thing, and so you must have done some like performance stuff in school as well, did you? Did you kind of look up to that?
A bit, not a huge amount. When I was at uni, I did a lot of student radio shows.
Oh, right.
I did like 4 or 5 a week at one point.
Wow.
Which meant I spent a lot of time talking to myself.
Yeah.
Because that's what student radio is. A few of my shows had co-presenters, but a lot of them I was the one who was like the main presenter, so sometimes people drop out. But also, nobody really listens to student radio.
Yeah.
So you're basically being like, email in if you've got any questions.
You're making up the text messages as well.
I did make up quite a few text messages to make myself sound popular. Also, sometimes the only people messaging in were a few of my mates, and I just give them different names, so it didn't sound like I had actual listeners and not
doing characters.
3 people who would just consistently message me being like, are you bored yet?
Yeah. That's it. Play that track again.
Because I did a lot of those, and some of them were quite good. Some of the ones I had co-presenters on and stuff. We did like fake news articles and comedy stuff like that.
Cool.
I was in a sitcom that one of my friends wrote on the student radio, but mostly it was just, I'm not that into music, and mostly it was chatting in between playing music. Like you had to play a certain amount, so I just used to. I used to take requests, but also I just used to play stuff that would annoy the people who ran the station.
Yeah.
They did a chart show every week, and their chart show was just the top 40 most played songs off their system. So every week, I had about 4 or 5 shows. I would close every single show with a Power Rangers theme music.
Nice.
So it always featured in the top 40, because it turns out about 4 or 5 plays was all you needed to get it into the lower echelons of the top 40.
Sort of game within the game,
So they were just like, and again, at 36, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme music, and we don't know why.
Why does this keep happening? You're like, yes, my evil plan has worked.
It's like, finally, someone's noticing.
So you did that in college?
Yeah.
What was the name of the station?
It was called Raw, 12:51 a.m.
Raw!
Radio Warwick.
Yeah.
It was quite good, actually. It was quite a good station. They had nice equipment and stuff. And, plenty of their shows were good. A lot of mine were mediocre, but... It's alright. I don't think I think I have 1 or 2 recordings of some of them somewhere on one of my external hard drives. But... I think I'm the only one who has them, so I could burn that. Yeah, and you can be buried somewhere where you don't ever want to find it ever again, sort of thing. I don't think they're that bad. I just think listening back to them, I'll be like, God, you talked to yourself a lot, didn't you? Do any other radio stuff now? No, not recently. I've been on a few people's radio shows, but I've not done my own radio stuff for quite a while.
And are you writing any sitcoms at the moment?
No, not actively. I'd like to be. I just haven't. I keep writing like, this might be fun, and none of the ideas are quite good enough to make me actually write them yet. So I've got loads of like, this bit might be fun, and also sometimes when I'm writing material that doesn't make sense for stand-up, I'll write out like a few lines and be like, well, that'd be amazing when I eventually write a sitcom, but it's just like 3 lines that contain a joke. Yeah. So if I went through all my notebooks, I've probably got quite a few of those bits, but I don't know what the eventual sitcom they would go in would be about yet. So.
And do you write with anyone in particular?
So sometimes I write with, depends what I'm writing. If I'm writing just one-liners, sometimes I write with Chris Northanger. He's quite good at one-liners. Although I do often spend quite a lot of the time writing together. Basically, he'll send me a huge list of one-liners, and it appears that my job is just to tell him which ones are too offensive. Because apparently he sends them to quite a few people, and apparently I'm the one who'll be like, you can't say that. And everyone else is like, no, it's funny. So I'm basically censoring him.
The morals, the moral compass.
Yeah, just like, so sometimes I write one-liners with him. I write a bit with Aaron Simmons. Well, we're doing a few shows together, so just like split bill ones, but we've done a bit of writing together recently. I was writing with him last night. And then I live with Catherine Bohart and Sarah Keyworth, so occasionally I write with them. Or sometimes I'll just be like, is this funny? Yeah. Say it. I think that's, I don't know, there's a few other people. I've written a little bit with quite a few people, but I don't have any particularly regular, like once every fortnight, once a week type people, which would be sensible.
You're entering a lot of competitions this year, is that right?
Yeah, I did a punch championships. I did quite a lot last year as well. I did like Funny Women and New Comedian of the Year and things like that. I don't know why I keep entering them. They're torture. And I really hate losing, but I'm not going to win one. So...
I remember seeing you at the competition in Edinburgh with, was it the superhero one? And you were so pissed off. Oh my God, I was like, it's just the thing. I know, you're like, rah! I was like...
That's not even a competition, they're really massive.
I know, right? I know. It was like, it's just...
That was quite fun. Yeah. That's like, Battle of Superheroes. It's just 4 comedians arguing over which superhero is better. They pick 4 heroes. I did it so many times. I won a few of them. I was like... I never came worse than second, but I'm also a terrible loser, so coming second, I was like, that's not good enough. Yeah. I also did Elliot Wengler's show a few times, Lolbert Wars, did that quite a lot. Yeah. I'm terrible when I get beaten at that as well, which essentially is just beating up other comedians with inflatables. Yeah. But still, I'll be like, I've been robbed every time I didn't win.
I mean, how can you win with like just got to be more hits per minute?
There was special he had these fleece gilets that had Velcro sewn onto them, and then these little sponge pads that were stuck to the Velcro, and they were like the hit points. So if you got one of them off, you got a point.
Okay, cool. Right.
It was very well thought through, basically, on a budget, and it worked pretty well, actually, on the day. So, yeah, I was terrible when I got beaten at that as well. It got surprisingly violent.
I'd say, because competitiveness and, like, you know, Edinburgh, the rage that you build up right there.
Especially near the end of the Fringe when everyone's tired and angry.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Like, I did the grand final of that, basically it was just... Elliot picked 4 people who'd won quite a few, and the final fight was between me and Tom Mayhew, who I've done a show with before and is my friend, and it was horrifically violent.
Maybe that's why you spent so much time together. It just built up.
I was so angry. It was there were like 6 of these pads you had to get off each other, and we both got 5 off each other, and then I managed to like grab his 6th one, and it ripped as it came off, so there was a tiny bit of it left on him.
Oh right.
And I still had one left on, and then they went to and Elliot was like, well, I think it's pretty clear who the winner is, and then he went to the audience for a vote, and there were 3 like audience votey people, and they voted Tom the winner, and Elliot was like, oh, I'm sorry, that's not what I expected.
No, you should have gone. You had most of the pads that you ripped off, right?
Yeah.
So you should have won that.
Yeah, exactly. And the rest of the audience were like, what?
The audience never know who the winner is. What are you asking them for?
So they had like 3 judges within the audience, because earlier on they have there's 4 comics to start, and then they have 2 of them do a stand-up battle, and then improv and stuff like that, and so they have to have people to vote the winners. But yeah, on the way out, several people were like, you should have won, and I was like, I know.
Totally.
I had to get to another gig, so I had to leave quite quickly, so I basically stormed out of anything like, I should have won.
Yeah, that's it. Do you have any time off? Are you just like hammering it all the time?
So I do some freelance work occasionally. I used to do quite a lot of freelancing in TV, but I don't do quite as much of that because it's very time consuming, so you can't really gig as much. What else do I do?
What part of TV?
Production mostly.
Oh, okay.
So I've only ever worked on comedies and like sitcoms and stuff, which is really nice because that was the first job I got when I left uni. I applied for work experience at the BBC and luckily I got it. Presumably I was sufficiently middle class for them to be like, yeah, okay, we'll give you work experience. So I got work experience on the Impression show and then I've just done a lot of comedies since then.
What was it like working on that? We're like, oh, here's your coffee. So anyway, I think I could punch that up for you there.
It's especially early on, you have to be like, they don't want to listen to you. And then eventually it gets to a stage like now I've worked with quite a few producers and stuff enough times that they know I do comedy stuff. So they'll be like, have you got an idea, Adele? I have to hover in a really unsubtle way to be like... sort of give them a look from the corner of the room.
Just like, you're quivering with just like,
give them a coffee and make a significant eye contact with the producer.
The baseball sort of, tells, nose, shoulder, leg. It's like you've got some sort of tick.
Yeah, I've done that a few times. One of the jokes I gave to them when I was working on the Goodness Gracious Me India special made it into the show.
Amazing.
I didn't get credited, but it made it into the show.
Yeah.
I did. I mean, I got credited as the runner, which I was, but not for writing anything. But it was pretty cool. Also, so I gave it to them when they were going through the script, because it was the bit they were doing parodies of the film Gandhi, directed by other famous directors like Peter Jackson and people like that. So they were just doing like Gandhi as a Hobbit story, Gandhi as a other thing, and I gave them one for the Hobbit, which they used, but they didn't really, at the time I gave it to them, and they were like, oh, okay, and said nothing, and then they got to the recording, and I was like, he used my jug!
Yeah.
They never said, it was really exciting.
Shame they didn't credit you, though.
No, but...
You can't have a writing credit for that. You know the truth yourself.
I know,
right?
yes.
I
could go on IMDb and change it.
Yeah, totally.
Like, wrote that one joke that was okay.
Yeah. Hey, look, any credit is a credit, right? You need to put on posters that credit on Goodness Gracious Me as joke scene on Goodness Gracious Me.
Single joke in half-hour episode.
That's great. I love that show. I love it. It's my favourite.
Yeah, that was a really fun one to work on.
What else have you done?
I was my first proper full-time paid TV job. I was the production runner on Jason Byrne's sitcom, which was not a very critically acclaimed sitcom, but it was nice because Jason Byrne is a delight to work with. He's really lovely, and it had a good cast basically. And I've done Vic and Bob.
Yeah, nice.
Which is cool.
Which one?
I did House of Fools.
Oh, great! Yes,
it was really funny, and also the nice thing on that one was I got to help out with props a bit, and their props are so mad.
Yeah.
That was great.
What was it in the kitchen? There was some weird.
So many. There was one of the episodes because I did the first series of that. One of the episodes, one of them was Vic had made like a ghost catching machine. It was like a fish slice with a hose pipe attached to it, and some bottles on his back, and he was like, and then you just shovel the ghost into there. It was really great.
Yeah, great. A lot of fun, right?
Yeah, I've worked on a lot of nice ones actually, and also just met quite a few cool comedians by doing it. Met 2 members of Monty Python. I'm trying to work my way up to 3.
Yeah, that's it.
Kalen's in my sights. That's the next one I want. I've worked with Eric Idle and John Cleese.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want Palin. That's the dream.
That's it. You gotta have your vision board. Your shrine
Pictures
at home.
of Michael, but except he doesn't really do comedy anymore. So.
Oh man.
Unless I decide to segue into documentaries, I probably won't ever work with them.
For myself, I'm trying to do the alternative comedy experience. I've done Josie Long, Steve Carlin, and then like I'm trying to, just trying to work my way around the whole board.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, and I did. What was it? Who was it? Henning Wayne.
Oh no.
To be fair, that doesn't count because I was in the same bathroom as him. I was like, "Hi, Henning, how's it going?"
That counts. That definitely counts.
You just come to see a show where it's a fringe. It doesn't really count. But but the other two. So,
I think it depends on how much you want to tick that person off. Like the first time I ever met Noel Fielding, I was walking through a street in Oxford. So we were walking towards the station, and it was when the Boosh were on tour, and so they were in Oxford that night, and the whole Mighty Boosh clan were walking down this high street, and my friend kind of elbowed me and was like, "Look," and I was like, "Ah!" And then I said hello to him. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to see your show on my birthday in December. And he was like, that's cool, I like your jeans. And then I basically melted. But I've since worked on shows he's been on and actually spoken to him without being like...
Yeah.
Although still, embarrassingly, I'll be like, here's your tea.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I used to get that thing of like when I was way younger. I was like, I used to get that thing of like, okay, either having nothing to say at all and being totally embarrassed because what would I have to say to this person because they've done all these other things and I have nothing. I am completely nothing in their eyes, and then or the other way, you just go, oh, I'm gonna be totally nonchalant and just be like, you asshole, you know. But now I'm better now. I'm in between, you know.
It's tricky. Well, I used to always think, I still do actually, just to put, like, my whole thing is, you probably might never meet them again, so it's better to say hello. But it depends how much I want to meet that person. If they've been mobbed by people and I'm not that bothered, I'm like, I can just leave this, it's fine. But yeah, if there's someone I'm a huge fan of, I'm like, I should probably just say hello, then at least I've got the story. Yeah,
that's it. And any other times you met any people you really look up to and go, oh my, and you've gone, oh no, you look back up. I should have just not even said a thing, I just walked away.
I walked past Miranda Hart in a hallway at the BBC and it was at the peak of when Miranda was successful, and I loved that. It was such a great sitcom. I walked past her in the corridor and I was like doing runner stuff. You know, runner shit, carrying paper or something,
looking
or emptying a bin, or
right?
menial tasks for minimum amounts of pay.
Totally. Oh, so demeaning, isn't it? Really?
So, look at me carrying all these bits of rubbish. So I walked past her in a corridor, but she was walking the opposite way and with someone, and I was like, it will be weird if I chase her, so I just kind of walked past her and went gazed up at her like she was a god, and then carried on walking.
Oh no, you gotta do it though. You gotta do it. You did something. That's the most important thing.
I mean, it was probably weird. I tried to be chill about it. I wasn't openly gasping at her, but I was like, oh my god. And that was quite early on in my career before I'd met a lot of comedians, so I was still quite excited by that.
Of course. Brothers and sisters as well?
I have two sisters.
Oh, right.
Two little sisters.
Are they interested in comedy at all? Or?
I hope not. They're way more... They're way better than me at everything that we mutually do. So we used to do a lot of the same sports when we were younger. And they were both... we did dive. We did a lot of diving. Right. I did loads of sports. I did like swimming, diving, gymnastics, and trampolining, and cross-country running and stuff like that. But one of the main ones we did was diving, like the somersaulted kind of diving. I started diving, and then a week later they were like, we want to come too. Okay. And they both got so much better than me. Like my greatest achievement in diving was probably being like a regional champion of something.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah, but my middle sister, she was like a national champion, and the youngest one has dived for Great Britain. So
that's where the competitive spirit starts, right?
I'm super competitive with them, but they normally win.
Oh man! So you're like, oh yeah, well I'm going to do comedy.
So they're not allowed to do comedy. If they start doing comedy, then my career is over.
Oh no!
They'll be like, have you got the funny cliff one? And that'll be one of my sisters.
Yeah. So they still school?
I say little loosely. They are in their 20s,
right, okay.
So they're not that little.
Yeah.
One of them's in her final year at uni, and the other one she's a chemist.
Oh, right, okay.
Because they are sciencey.
Right.
They both did chemistry degrees, or one of them's finishing a chemistry degree right now.
And what's the other one doing?
She's a production radiochemist. She works at Alliance Medical. She makes radioactive chemicals that are used in injections for scans, so if you go in to have a scan and they need some kind of... Basically, like, when you're having it's kind of normally used for cancer screenings and stuff.
Well, that's a fucker at Christmas, right? You just go home and go, so how's those puns going?
How's it going? Did you do any jokes about wanking the other day? How many people did you make laugh?
Oh, shit. Yeah, how many people in your show? 20? Yeah, well, oh, man, that's tough.
Yeah. But they're very good. But yeah, also, like... My dad's big, cause my dad was a mathematician before he retired, so he loves all the science stuff.
Yeah, right. Okay. So. Well, comedy's a science. Did you say that with a straight face?
I can't say that. I don't think it's a science.
It's an equation, Dad. Look, this is how it is. It's tragedy plus time equals my life. Okay? That's what it is.
Yeah. Sort of... works. My mum's quite into comedy. My dad's not a big comedy fan, But he's very supportive
Great.
of me doing comedy. So he always, like, every time he sees me, he'll be like, how was this gig and this gig? Because my parents stalk my Twitter like nobody. They must read my Twitter more than I read my Twitter, or anyone who follows me. They don't have Twitter.
Right.
They just go www.twitter.com and then go search for me and read what I'm doing just to check up on me. So sometimes my mum will text me. Quite frequently she'll text me being like, good luck in Sheffield tonight, and I'm like, how do you know I'm going to Sheffield? And I'll be like, oh no, you read my gig list and remembered all the dates, which is nice but also a bit scary.
You've got like a map of like your tour,
just my movements. Like, where is Adele? What's she doing at the moment?
That's good. That's nice.
Yeah, they're nice. They're very interested in how stuff goes. Luckily they're supportive in a way that means I can be like, don't come and watch me.
Oh great.
They have seen me. They saw when I did a two-hander with Tom in 2016. They came and saw that. They didn't see my show last year, which makes me happy. But it's just being in a small audience like you often are at the Fringe. So both of those shows, like, both of them were... the one I did with Tom, we were full most days. And we had, like, a room that held kind of 35-ish. And then I was lucky I was full basically every day last year. But both of those rooms are so tiny, you can see everyone in them. And nothing puts me off like making eye contact with my parents.
Totally. Totally. And it doesn't matter how happy they look. You're just like, you just see, you're just humouring me. I love your mom, dad, but it's just not going to work out.
It's just like, I don't know if you like... Also, they're the kind of people who would correct factual inaccuracies in my jokes. And I'm like, sometimes you have to leave them in there for comedy.
Fudge the truth.
Yeah. So, I don't think they're coming to Edinburgh this year, but if they are... They better hide at the back and not tell me.
And what's your mum do?
She used to be an archaeologist.
Oh, wow.
She was an archaeologist, and before that she was a geography teacher.
Right.
And my dad was a maths teacher before he was just a mathematician. A lot of academics, basically.
Damn.
All my family, very clever people.
So you're the rebel, right?
Yeah, look at me, being like... I did a lot of science at school and uni. I was just then like, I'm going to do something creative. And they're like, do you not want a job that gets you paid well? I was like, no! I don't want that at all. Yeah. I like having no money.
Okay, your family are very supportive, which is great. Your sisters are like basically competition at home.
They're super. They're just very good at everything. Yeah. They're really nice as well, so I can't even hate them. They love it. We spend a lot of time together. Actually, we do a lot of stuff together. But yeah, we're all three of us are super competitive. Like at Christmas, every time we play a board game or do anything, we go quite often at Christmas. We'll go bowling or play pool or something, and every time, whoever wins just gets to brag for ages and ages. I won last time, and it really annoys them because I have horrific technique at bowling. I don't know how to do it well. Up or... We always have the gutters up because we want our money's worth, and having the gutters down means we're not going to get our money's worth in terms of fun of knocking stuff over.
They're there to be used, right? That's
exactly. I use them a lot. My technique seems to be like I do it like I'm playing like pong or something.
Pinball or something.
So but basically what annoys them is every time I throw the ball it sounds like I'm going to smash the bowling alley because for some reason I like to throw it up, basically up in the air.
Yeah.
But it works better than it should.
Yeah, just gifted.
Yeah. And we play golf a lot with our dad.
Right, mini golf?
No, normal golf.
Oh, big golf.
Pitch and putt normally.
Oh, that's that's
which
cool.
is like Lucy, the youngest one, she plays normal golf because she's... Like always, she is the best at golf, so she's good at that.
She kills it every time.
Yeah, although I nearly beat her last Christmas. We played pitch and putt. She beat me by one shot, but normally she should be way ahead. Smashed Vivian, who's the other one, by loads. So it was a good day for me.
And where are you from then?
From Cambridge.
Oh right, okay. Yeah. The brain capital of Oxford and that are the brain capital. But Cambridge seems to be the more winning, I think, on that one, isn't it?
Well, I would agree because that paints me in a better light.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. I feel like in comedy I have to be like, I'm from Cambridge, but you know that the university and the place are not one and the same. Because, my dad went to Cambridge Uni, though, so I suppose technically I could claim stuff. I can sneak into there through the colleges if I want.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So quite often to walk through the colleges, they're like, sorry, only alumni, but sometimes you can sneak through if you blag it well enough. It's nice though, Cambridge. It's very nice.
And you're doing the Fringe this year?
Yes, which one? I'm doing many fringes.
Oh, is there many? No, but the fringe for Cambridge Fringe.
I am.
Is there many fringes in Cambridge? It's a literary festival.
There's many festivals in Cambridge. They've got loads. They've got Science Festival, Literary Festival. There's a new Cambridge Fringe Festival which is on the 6th of May, which I'm doing. Then there's Cambridge Comedy Festival, which is in like July, I think, which hopefully I might be doing something at. I haven't got anything confirmed yet. But yeah, so they have multiples. And then I think there's other like more general arts festivals as well in Cambridge. There's a lot of stuff going on, you know, lectures for people and things like that. It's the place you would retire if you wanted to spend your whole day pretending to be a student and just going to lectures, which you can do. My dad goes to lectures all the time. Yeah. So I'll speak to him and I'm like, what did you do today? And he went, well, today I went to a philosophy lecture.
Mad. Perpetual student sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
That's great. Are you going to do any, like, incorporate all your science stuff into an uber intellectual hour-long show, or are you just going to be like, you know what, I just want to write knob jokes, that's all, just, you know...
I'm not a huge fan of knob jokes,
or masturbation jokes.
I don't have a lot of science stuff. I have a bit, actually. I've just written, like, just last night, I was writing a joke about quantum physics, and I don't know if it's too obscure. It's not particularly clever, it just relies on a basic understanding of Schrodinger's cat, and the basic principles of quantum physics. I hate quantum physics, it's stupid, and that's part of the joke, but so maybe I'm subtly incorporating it without meaning to, but I didn't do physics, I did biology, that was my science, but I don't really have any biology jokes, I don't think.
So you can be like, well, you can at dinner table at Christmas, you go, look guys, I have actually written an intellectual show about the, all the sciencey stuff. So who says you can't teach people in comedy?
I have like one joke about biology. And then the main joke of it is I'll do my joke about biology and it's like a convoluted joke that has a couple of puns and stuff, and then I'll be like, that's the only thing I've used my degree for. So,
that's well worth it.
So that one joke is worth about 30 grand apparently. Whoa. I mean, I would say it's not as good as many of my other ones that I've got no degrees in.
Got these for free, guys.
Yeah, these ones just GCSE level.
That's it, you know, keep it simple, isn't it? That's it. You go, oh no, this is really smart. It's like the one thing is, you know, when you first start, it's like, oh no, just be yourself on stage, and that can be the worst thing in the world to say to someone if people don't like you. You know, so
I hope people like me,
and you go too esoteric and go, oh, this is everyone else get this? And they go, no. And even if we do get it, we're not going to tell you, okay? We're not going to let you know.
I think you've got to acknowledge that there's a good chance other people don't think like you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the reason you try out new jokes on smaller audiences before you just go, that's the best joke I've ever written, and do it in front of them. You've met your biggest gigs. Yeah,
and so when was your first gig then?
Oh, I don't know, because I did a couple of gigs when I was a student. Like, the first time I properly started writing and performing stand-up radio, it was a gig at the Fringe in Edinburgh in 2014. So I don't know what the first... It's difficult because I suppose the first one technically was one I did like when I was about 19 or 20, but then I didn't do anything for ages after that. So it's actually me and Tom Mayhew were at the Fringe in 2014. We were both kind of comedy fans. We'd done a few gigs, and we were like, clearly, if we want to do comedy, we have to take it much more seriously. So that was kind of the point when we were like, okay, we have to gig at least 3 times a week. We have to do all these things. So that's kind of I did a few weird gigs there. I did a late night gig at that Fringe where I did a joke where I said, well, it wasn't even a joke, it was a setup to a joke, and I said, I'm single, and someone in the audience just went, shotgun, and I was like, it's not how it works. I'm not a car seat. You can't just claim me. Which to date was still one of the weirdest tackles I've ever
had. Oh, sir. You made me blush.
Finally! I've been saying that at gigs for ages and nobody's been claiming me.
Finally somebody who understands me.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, man.
That was weird.
Yeah,
quite funny, actually.
Yeah, totally. Was that when you were doing your two-hander with Tom?
No, that was I think that was in 2014 something. Right. So that was one of my, or maybe 2015. It was at the Fringe at a midnight gig.
All right, midnight gig. Oh yeah. Whereabouts was it?
It was in Espionage.
Oh yeah, the downstairs.
No, it's in one of the
upstairs.
Yeah, there's a lot of rooms in Espionage. It was in one of the. I think it was one called Casper. The one that's higher up that has a bar in the middle and is quite weird because the whole room's in an L. It's quite small. That one. It's in that one.
Oh yeah.
I think that one's Casbah, but I don't, even though I've done loads of gigs in that room.
I know you are. Yeah, that's... it's the bar's just on the corner, and then this person's standing. It's just in the
so
corner
you're
there.
Basically gigging directly to the bar, and then either side of that is an audience.
Yeah.
That one.
Was that the Bite?
I don't know what it
was. Because I did that. I think
that was what the gig was called. Yeah, it was an interesting one.
That was because there was people who were totally pissed at that one. Absolutely hammered.
Really, really hammered. I did it a few times because it was incredibly easy to get booked. So I did it maybe 3 or 4 times at that Fringe, and it was an odd gig. I never did it, and it was completely normal.
It was never an easy gig to play.
Yeah.
That's it. I remember doing it. I think I did it every night at the Fringe when I was there in 2014.
It was an odd one.
Okay, and give us some more stories now. The worst gig you've done. Some horrendous. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake, what is this? You know.
I did a gig in Watford, so anyone who's in comedy will probably know who it was for. It was just one that was in a room that was too big for the number of chairs they had in it, and it was set up weirdly and not emceed terribly well. And I was on first, even though I wasn't initially meant to be on first, and I did say, I can go on whenever you want me to, but one-liners don't always work best first, depending on the crowd. And still, the promoter was like, no, go on first, it'll be fine. I just did 10 minutes to complete silence. They weren't even necessarily mean or anything. Some of them were smiling, but genuinely, like, maybe 1 point did anyone actually audibly make an effort to laugh. They were like that for that. It was a horrific gig generally, and all of us were just like, why are we working so hard and getting nothing out of them?
I've done that gig once.
I've not done it since.
No, but I think that's what, one is when they go, I don't need to do this gig anymore.
No, I don't. Also, I don't need to. It's not even one where you can particularly learn a lot from a death like that, because you're not necessarily disappointing them. They weren't loud at any point in the gig, so it's difficult to know what they enjoyed and what they didn't enjoy. And also, it was just an odd gig, really odd gig.
I did that gig about 4 months ago, and I was like, I don't need to do this gig again. It's so close to me as well. I'm like, it's so fucking close. I'm like, I would, I just walk into. I prefer to do. There's like I'm starting to do some acoustic nights now because you kind of like get an audience. There's an audience there, and there's poetry sometimes. I know, right? But there's still...
I'm not grasping at poetry. I'm grasping at the idea of doing stand-up at any night that's not dedicated to comedy.
No, I agree. Because when I first started, right, honestly, I was the same. I was like, look, I need to get some stage time because I need to get better. And I went out and I looked at all that open mic acoustic, you had online, and I went to every single gig, right? I went to some lovely rooms. I'm like, God, comedy would be great here. Why don't you have it? Yeah. And then, but I had a terrible set and did terribly. But then I was like, okay, but then I try to get rid of the fear, And then I said, okay, right, I don't want to travel far for doing new material, so I'll see if I can do it in the town, There's a few places. There's a couple of ones now which are great, and I was like, oh, this is just feels right, and they're emceed well, and everyone feels safe and comfortable.
I think there's certainly mixed bill type gigs that do work. Yeah. The only one I've ever done is I was in Cambridge I think it was over at Christmas or something, and me and this other local Cambridge comic who hadn't gigged quite as much as me because he lives in Cambridge and stuff. So I'd just come back after doing my Fringe show with Tom, so I'd done loads of gigs at the Fringe, and I was like, I can't lose this momentum.
Felt strong, it
must be in September or something like that. But and we found this, and we were just like, there's so few gigs in Cambridge. There's more now, actually. There's some good ones, but we were like, well, let's go and see if this open mic is any good. And it was designed to be for music, but we got there and were like, do you do comedy? And they're like, yeah, sure, you can try it. And we were like, okay, how long can we do? And they went, oh, I don't know, it's normally 2 songs.
Yeah, totally. That's 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Like 10, 15 minutes, that's it.
So they were they're weirdly like loose on time at those things, because obviously songs take longer. But the guy who was emceeing was old and very misogynistic.
Oh, okay.
And it just it was a weird one. There wasn't a huge amount of audience. They were very odd, and it was just kind of mostly pub locals basically who happened to be there whilst the acoustic stuff was happening. Yeah. And the MC was he was really odd. He would introduce people, and then afterwards he would talk about how well they'd done, which I suppose for some music isn't quite so bad, but for like comedy, it just makes no sense.
Picking it apart.
Also, you definitely introduced me with the line, now we've got a woman. And then said, I'm just going to try some comedy. And I was like, fuck you, I've just come back from the Fringe where I've done like nearly 100 gigs in 30 days. I'm not trying it. I know how to do it. And I did some, and then, there was a few bits where I like did... audience interaction, but like asked questions to a few members of the audience, and just some of the answers to them, I was like, this is not the right place for comedy. I asked people what their favourite event at the Paralympics was, and one of the guys was, I like the midget sports, and I was like, okay, well, this is not a place for... You're not going to be the kind of crowd that will enjoy my comedy, so I was just like, okay, I think that's enough, and then I left.
And you know when you like, I think I've got this.
And then the MC afterwards, he went up and went, "Oh yeah, she's good. She'll be even better when she writes some more jokes." And he wasn't trying to be like cutting about that. No. He was genuinely being like, "Oh yeah, once she's written some more jokes, she'll be great." And I'm like, "Mate, I do one-liners. You had loads of jokes there until I was like, you guys are too intolerant to enjoy this."
Oh man, everyone has models for things, whatever it's like a male, female models that you can go, oh, no, like. That's the kind of thing like that. And you like your superhero stuff as well, right?
I do, yes.
Okay, now, right. So, when you go up on stage, right, what kind of being or whatever, like, what do you see yourself as? Like, I don't think this is a gender thing, but like, what do you know what I mean? Because I don't want to put an idea, I don't want to put that idea of something in your head. I want you to think it yourself.
Now, I've been told I stand like Peter Pan on stage, because I tend to stand with one foot in front of the other. I don't know why. But I do also, actually, sidebar, whenever I'm doing an important gig, I wear socks that have superheroes on them to give me superhero powers. Yeah, I don't know what I'm envisaging.
I know, because you have the same socks I got, right? You've got like
I've got some new ones as well.
Hulk. Okay, cool.
They're very good.
Which ones would you go, right, this is a big gig, I'm going to go with the Hulk tonight? Or would you do that? Or?
Sometimes, like for the UK Pun Championships, even though I was wearing like tights and shorts, I was like, well, I need superhero socks, so I just folded them over in my shoes, which was not comfortable. Right. And I was like, who do I need? I probably need... And then I remember to have socks that have, like, Iron Man and Hulk and Cap and Thor on. So I was like, well, I'll take all four of those guys. So that'll help.
Great. That's great.
So I do that. So I don't know. I also, a couple of years ago, someone pointed out to me that if I stand at the back of the stage, I look like I don't know what I'm doing. So suddenly I was like, if I just stand further forward, so it looks like I'm more confident. Been told by a few people who were like, oh, you're really confident on stage. I think I'm like... Well, I think you're being tricked by the fact I just stand a certain way. Not necessarily being like, I'm the best comedian ever. Just happen to be like, if I stand like this, people tend to respond better. Yeah. But I don't know who I've modelled it on. Peter Pan, if you believe
Peter Pan, alright, that's cool. Yeah. That works. You got
not my intention, although I am very childish, so I suppose Peter Pan is a good one.
Yeah. You can fly, I guess, so that's it, and he doesn't age, and that's good, right?
I mean, if I could pick to be a superhero, it would not be Peter Pan.
Who then?
Maybe Mystique.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, who you were at the superhero competition.
Oh, one time. So, in Battle of the Superheroes, I did it about 6 or 7 times, and I represented various numbers of times Mystique, Black Widow and Scarlet Witch, because presumably they had no one else to do the female superheroes. I sent a huge list to Nick of all the superheroes that I'd be happy to do, and he was just like, okay, can you do these, and picked out all the women. I was like, okay, fine. They were fun.
That's who you're a superhero. And do you ever have any, like, do you have a thing a tick that you, because I start to notice that I have a certain, every now and again, like I'll be going, you're trying to get a rhythm of, rhythm of your set, and you're going through it, go bum, 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 like this, right?
Yeah.
And then the other night, I was going through it, and I was like, the last joke that I was doing, I was like, I'm going to want a big finish, last joke, and then da-da-da-da-da, and my right foot went, tapped, but it's because I was getting the rhythm right. I was like, shit. But the thing is, it tapped in the silent part, so everyone heard that tap on this wooden stage, and I was like, shit.
So, like, is he about to break into song?
So now
big finale.
Yeah. So now it just feels like I'm stamping my authority down in this last joke, and it totally didn't get the response that I wanted because they heard it like tap, and he's like, oh. So do you have anything like that?
A bit. I have some weird ways I stand on stage. I used to stand a lot with like one hand backwards on like like backwards, like not on my hip, like higher up than my hip, weirdly. And now at the moment, what I tend to do, which I'm trying to stop because I think it looks really weird, so I tend to just grab my rib cage, like I'm worried it's going to vanish. So there's a lot of pictures of me at the moment just holding onto one side of my ribs. I'm being like, oh, they're still there, good.
Yeah, so kidney, liver, good. That's
okay, that's all my organs. Back to the comedy.
That's it, kind of like, or like, you know, that hand way back, you know, that like you've been picking potatoes or something for, you know, for all day. Oh, yeah, scrubbing floors. Yeah, that's it. Hard work. Try to show that you're working hard, right? That's maybe what it is.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I think so. I do a lot of genuinely like just grabbing at my sides whilst I'm on stage. I don't know why.
Yeah. Oh, I'm still here. I'm still here.
So like, I'm still here. Cool.
Yeah, that's it. Still alive.
I don't know what the aim is, because also when I do it, I'm like, it probably looks silly.
Yeah.
But I've done it now.
There's other things as well where people are standing. They have like the claw. You know, they kind of go. There's this one. There's like, you know
what, with their mic or
no, just with a hand. Yeah, it's a claw here. Like,
well, that's the thing as well, because I try not to gesture too much, but I do a bit. You tend to when you're speaking on stage, particularly because having one arm hanging limply by your side looks a bit weird. So you have to do something with it. I do a lot of weird gestures. My housemate Sarah. She has loads and loads of pictures of her where it looks like she's holding an invisible melon. She just tends to like have her hand spread and like slightly curved, so it looks like she's just displaying an invisible melon in loads of pictures.
I find the same thing as like when people take pictures of you, go, I always do that same shape. It doesn't matter what. I'm like exactly the same. And like, I need to make. I
have a few hand gestures, and I'm like, if I really want to get the most out of these normally quite low quality pictures people are taking me at gigs, I have to get some new poses going on.
Totally. Do you do acting as well?
No, I'd like to. I've done like student sitcoms, and I've done like sketch shows at the Fringe and stuff. Nothing at the moment.
I'm trying to get the credits up as well.
Yeah. I'm doing stand up though now, so eventually when I'm a huge star.
Yeah. You've been chatting with Milton Jones. I mean, this is it.
Yeah, we're best pals now.
Could be on the essay on the wreath. Chatting with Milton Jones at the Christmas party.
I need more things for my poster, so maybe that can go on it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about what to put on my Edinburgh poster right now. It's hard.
It is. Trying
to figure out how to make a picture of your face appealing. But like, no, I am good. Here I am. Come see me. Well, actually, luckily, Joe Banksy. He designed my Leicester Fringe poster, which was really good and has been nominated for Best Poster. So I hope he wins. So he's designing my Edinburgh one, but my Leicester poster doesn't have my face on it. Speaking to a PR person the other day, and they're like, "Well, you can't do that in Edinburgh." And I was like, "I know, but it's a nice poster, isn't it?" And this one, I don't have to be like, "Oh, it's my face again," because it's just a picture of a sheep. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm currently trying to figure out a fun way to put my face on a poster.
Is a sheep your spirit animal?
No,
what is your spirit animal?
I don't know. Cat? I love cats.
Right.
I'm a massive cat person. They're the best.
Which kind of cat?
All kinds of cats.
Oh, okay.
Every cat that's ever lived.
Right.
All of the cats.
Yeah.
I love cats.
Do you have cats at home?
Yeah, well, my parents have cats. I'm not allowed cats in my flat in London.
Oh, okay.
But my parents' cats are adorable. If this wasn't a podcast, I'd give you a picture to prove how adorable they are. But I can show you one of the cats. And then you can react to it.
Oh, that's cute. That is cute.
She's cute. You have dogs, so you're not going to react well enough.
We had cats, though. We had cats first, and they legged it. Because we got the dogs, and then they just went, no, fuck this, we're out of here. We can't handle this. They're too big.
Yeah, they are massive. I would be scared if I was a cat. I'm also scared, and I'm a human. So I understand the cat's predicament. Yeah. Yeah, I love cats.
And what's the name of your cat?
That one who's on my phone is called Mandy, short for Amanda. Good cat name. The other one's called Cleo, or Cleopatra if she's been naughty. Yeah,
is it Cleopatra Cliff?
Well, I refer to them as Mandy Cliff and Cleo as in their full members of the family, so they have full names.
Or CC, like in Top Cat.
Oh yeah, no, I haven't done that, but I should. No, I call Cleo Clee sometimes. That's her nickname. Yeah. I think she loves it. She has the same expression whether or not I use that or her full name, but I feel like she's enjoying it. I love cats that have human names though. Yeah. It's my favourite. So ours actually got slightly more catty names, but I love it when people are like, this is my cat, Kenneth. And you're like, oh, what a great name for a cat.
Kenneth.
This is Sarah the cat. This is Andrew. I just love it when they have human names.
That's like for my posters. I had the most fun making my poster this year, which with the basically by the power of Grayskull, it's like just me in in the Photoshop the shit out of myself into the body armor from He-Man.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think I saw that one.
And I was like, oh, this is so much fun! And I was like, and so I thought I'd do that, and like, oh, the show can just be fun. I mean, it's just gonna be a fun show, just messing about, and like, you know, and just, you know, a little bit of a couple of references to He-Man within it, like, but that's it. It's like you want to have fun doing it, but like, you know, of course.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with most shows for Edinburgh and generally like hour-long shows is obviously it helps if they have a theme or a central kind of plot to them. But the whole show doesn't have to be like, oh, I've said this on the poster, so I best not veer too far away from that ever. Exactly.
And so yours is Sheep.
It is Sheep,
and it's one for Edinburgh as well as Sheep as well.
It is also Sheep,
cool.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, it has to be now. I've sent in all the what's it called, to the Fringe brochure and stuff like that.
Did you get the package thing, or did you do like because you have an agent? Did you do the package thing, or they go get your PR and all that stuff?
I know. So I was meant to be working with a promoter, but we didn't work very well together. They just weren't getting me the kinds of things I thought they were. They hadn't even found me a venue by the beginning of March. So I'm doing that on my own now. But I'm going to get someone to help with PR. But then apart from that, it's just me doing everything. But I've done a few before, so at least I know what I'm doing, roughly.
Yeah, that's... Who are you going to go with?
I'm doing it at Just the Tonic is my venue.
Right.
At the Caves, which is a nice one. 4:10.
4:10, okay. I can actually come to that this year.
Come see me.
Yeah, I will.
When's your show?
Mine is 2:45. That'll be in the Wee Room in the Three Sisters for 12 dates of the Fringe.
Mine's at the Wee Room too, except mine's in the Caves. Because it's Scotland, there's a Wee Room in most of the venues.
Exactly, yeah.
The Gilded Balloon has a Wee Room.
Yeah, and there are certain areas which aren't meant to be rooms, but they're filled with wee. Finally this year I've got walls. I've got walls Adele this year, you know, so last year it didn't have walls.
Yeah.
I had a tent. This year
walls. Were you
the
marquee?
Yeah.
I did the marquee with Tom the year before. Yeah. It was okay. It was really great for filling it, and we managed to fill it a lot because we had a gimmick because we gave out party hats because our show was about birthdays.
Yeah.
And so that meant we genuinely had really good-sized audiences. It's just that our show was at 10 p.m. and the number of drunk people in the Three Sisters. I saw at one stage when we were flying before our show, so maybe 9:30, I saw a woman sitting on one of the benches in the courtyard at the Three Sisters just pissing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
The weird thing was that wasn't even that surprising.
No.
No. It was on like a Saturday night and I was like, okay, that's the vibe, is it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's it.
But yeah, after the first weekend, me and Tom were very careful about who we gave flyers to.
Yeah.
Because when your show's right there, it's actually not that hard to convince people to come in, especially when they're not paying for a ticket in advance.
Exactly.
So we were like, don't invite anyone who's on a stag do, don't invite anyone who seems more drunk than this. Worked well. We've been very judgmental of people, but we managed to pick people that were a nice audience, so that was good.
You become a sort of just an asshole detector, don't you, though, really?
Yeah. It's surprising how quick, especially at the Fringe, where you're like, don't give flyers to those people. I was doing that for my own show this year, and it was earlier, it was at 7:25, my show, my own show. And I said, there's not that many assholes around.
Yeah.
But still, I was like, if I saw it, I was like, do they seem the right sort? Which is super judgmental.
but it's true, you know, when you...
But also, if you have an idea of what your audience is, you should try and fly at that audience. That's why I did Battle of the Superheroes so many times, and the one-liner show, I did that every day, because those are the kind of people who will enjoy my show. But
when you're becoming that detector for people, right?
Yeah.
Because I run my own gig in Hemel, and like there was one night there was like only 20 people there, right? And so I said, guys, can you move to the front? And I thought, okay, so these people moved to the front. They didn't want to move to the front. I was like, okay, no. Because you know when you ask people to move to the front, they go, oh, you've made me move to the front and you want me to take part in the show as well. They're like, oh, well, this is all I'm doing, buddy. You see how you go. And so I was like, okay. And they moved to the front, one group of this family. There was the dad, the mom, the son, and the son's girlfriend, right? And the dad was sitting here, and I was like, he was in front, first person to talk to. And he was a curmudgeon. And the most miserable person I could possibly talk to in the room. And there's only 20 people there. And I was like, no, I'm not going to give up on this interaction. I'm going to get a laugh out of this no matter what. And so I created so much tension, right? I was like, okay. I said, what's your name? He goes, meh. I'm going to tell you. What'd you do? Meh. And then he's like, I was like, okay. And then I was like, but like every question I asked him, you could just sense the what he's like, you know? And then his but every question I asked, his whole family were like, you know, looking at him, seeing how he's reacting, and going, "Oh!" My, and so I was looking at them. So I was like, "Oh my!" I could just see him sitting at home with them, and him being a tyrant, you know. And I was like, "Oh my god, this is awful."
I don't know why people who aren't going to enjoy it come to see comedy. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm surprised by how many people are so scared to sit at the front. Like, especially when I'm doing a preview or something. I'm like, honestly, I'm nice. I might ask you a question that is a yes/no question just for the purpose of the show. I'm not going to be mean to you.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, the number of people are like, I can't sit at the front. It's like, also most preview rooms are small enough that if you don't sit at the front, I can still see you and speak to you. It's not different.
Exactly.
It's very weird.
But like, with this guy, I was like, oh man. So then I was like, then of course it became a game for me.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is great. I'm creating tension. I'll use it for something else in a minute. And I was like, then he was like, I was like, oh, this guy must be a barrel of laughs at home. And then really just kept on digging. I was like, I'm going right through. Gonna go all the way down and then back out the other side.
I think when you find someone like that, I don't know, it feels to me, because I'm competitive again, it feels like if you stop talking to them, you've kind of let them win.
Exactly.
Or even not necessarily stop talking to them, but just, let it drop. Like, if someone's really unresponsive, I tend to just let them be the butt of jokes without letting them reply.
It's great, I love that. That's what I do. I love doing that.
Like, this guy knows, this guy would have said that.
Totally.
Just needlessly mean to someone.
It's give and take, though, isn't it?
Brought it on yourself.
Yeah,
you be more friendly.
You're being nice, aren't you? You're just asking a question, and you're not gonna be horrible. You're gonna have fun, usually at your own expense. You go, I mean, look, they're already winning. You're just the dancing monkey, aren't you? Really? You go, okay, look, let's have fun.
And also, if at any stage you ask an audience member a question that the audience in general deems appropriate, you'll be able to figure that out, and that's not.
Yeah.
So few people ever do that on stage. I don't think I ever asked an audience member a question that is so uncomfortable or something that the audience are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So yeah, there are always stupid things like, what do you do? What's your favourite Olympic sport? That was one I did a lot at the Fringe in 2016 because it was during the Olympics. So I was like, well, I might as well incorporate it. Yeah. Because also the great thing about closed-ended questions like that is there's only a certain number of Olympic sports, so I just had a joke for all of them, which was... Yeah. It's just fun. So I was like, look how good I am at ad-libbing. Here's my joke about archery.
Straight on target every time. Yeah, that's it. That's great. But that's the thing. So I like to just the things I like to just riff with it and see where it goes. And sometimes it goes absolutely nowhere. Sometimes it's a joy. But that's it. That's the jeopardy. It's not usually about them.
I think the thing is, even if things don't really go anywhere, people can tell. Obviously, with audience interaction, you can't be planning it in advance. So it's the audience know that, and even if you don't quite get to the place you plan to get to, you still get a good amount out of it.
Exactly. You've taken the risk, and they respect you for the taking a chance.
Also, the number of people who are incredibly impressed by a successful piece of audience interaction is amazing. Which obviously done really well, it's incredible. But even if you're okay at chatting to the audience and getting a bit of a laugh, people are like, "How did you do it?" Yeah. Like the way you would do in a normal conversation. Yeah.
Only that's it.
Only just being aware that other people are listening, so... But...
Or more jeopardy, you've got to try and be funny. Yeah.
I'm always trying to be funny. That's my main aim in all things.
I think we reached the end of it, really.
Yeah.
I think we've done well. I think we've completed comedy conversation.
I think that's comedy solved now.
Yeah, I think so.
Big tick. Comedy's done. I'll move into my career in science now.
Yeah. So your show is in the wee room in the Just Tonic at 4 o'clock, correct?
4:10.
4. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's called Sheep, not with an S on the end.
Sheep. Okay. Where can we find you?
I'm on Twitter. That's Adele Cliff. Just my name, which it makes sense. It used to have this weird name, and then I was like, why am I doing this? There's no other Adele Cliffs on Twitter. Yeah. I don't have a Facebook page yet. I'm setting one up soon, so coming soon. Facebook page.
Get ready to like that.
Yeah.
And the invites.
Boys for the likes. And then...
And the despair when the likes seem to disappear. How? Why? Why is this happening?
Yeah, that's the main reason I haven't done one yet. I just dread the fact that I'm going to invite all my friends and most of them are going to ignore it.
Self-esteem's overrated. It's just, it's
too much self-esteem makes you bad at comedy.
Agreed. Yeah, it can be overconfident.
Yeah.
So Instagram, Adele Cliff?
I am Adele Cliff Comedy on Instagram. There's another Adele Cliff.
Right.
Bitch.
Yeah. She do comedy as well?
No. She doesn't even use it that much. It's very annoying.
And you're doing all the fringes this year?
I'm doing a lot of festivals, yeah.
What festivals are you doing?
Glasgow Comedy Festival this week, Bath next week. I'm doing Mirth at Tidville Comedy Festival. I'm doing the Great Yorkshire Fringe. I'm doing Brighton. I'm doing Cambridge. I'm doing Hastings. I'm doing... I know there's more, and Edinburgh, obviously. There's definitely others, but all of them, for sure.
Wow.
But I'm just taking my show wherever I can take it, basically.
Great. That's like, and there's something you've
coming to a city
out.
Probably near you, unless you live somewhere really weird.
Even then, there might be a Fringe there soon, so you may be there.
It's not beyond me to travel to somewhere really weird, just to be like, I can try my show again. Yeah.
Well, Adele Cliff, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks, Winter.
Yay!
And that was episode 61 with the very funny, very competitive Adele Cliff. Her show is at 4:10 in Just the Tonic Caves in Edinburgh in the Wee Room. Go and check her show out at the Fringe. Go see her live. She's doing loads of competitions. She's doing loads of Fringes all around the country. Go check her out. Go follow her on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of those places. She's very, very funny. You can follow this podcast on Twitter at The Comedy Defect. You can follow me at Winter Phonander. But if you want to come see my live stand-up gig dates, you can find them on my website, which is winterphonander.com. Danny's nearly finished the website. Oh yeah, got the pictures, got it done. Here we go. This is what's happening. As I say, I'm going to be doing my show, which is going to be by the power of Grayskull. It's Shaftesbury Fringe on the 29th of June, and that will be around 10 o'clock in the evening if you want to come see it there. But the dates will be up on my website, on Twitter, on Facebook, all of those places. It will definitely be advertised. Now, if you want to support this podcast, you can. You go to Patreon, type in The Comedy Defect Podcast, or donate as little as £1, or whatever you feel this podcast is worth. And those of you that do donate, thank you. Those of you who don't, hey, look, just go on your phone, leave us a nice, honest review. Say, whatever, how many stars you want. For example, just here is a suggestion, 5 stars. Just give us 5 stars. Just let yourself go. Just have fun with it. Write a review. Write what you want. Enjoy. That's your moment. It's your moment to shine. But that's it for this episode of the Comedy Defect Podcast. That was episode 61 with Adele Cliff. I really hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed recording and editing it. It was a lot of fun. And the next episode we've got is episode 62 for June, and that is Luke Stephen. Luke's been gone a few years. He is killing it. We'll talk to him in that episode. Enjoy June and the rest of May.